It was during one such routine exploration mission that the Concordat stumbled upon a peculiar solar system in the outer reaches of the Orion Arm. The third planet from its yellow dwarf star immediately caught their attention. Teeming with life and bustling with activity, it stood out as a rare jewel in the cosmic tapestry. Zara, the lead anthropologist aboard the Concordat survey ship Luminous Harmony, peered at the holographic projection of the blue-green world. Her translucent, opalescent skin shimmered with excitement as she addressed her crew. "Fascinating," she breathed, her large, multifaceted eyes blinking in rapid succession. "This planet, it's unlike anything we've encountered before. The biodiversity alone is staggering, but what truly sets it apart is its dominant species." The hologram zoomed in, revealing sprawling cities, networks of transportation, and clear signs of an industrialized civilization. Zora's assistant, Krell, a being of crystalline structure, chimed in with a series of melodic tones that translated to speech. "They call themselves humans, and their planet Earth. Their technological progress is remarkable for their relative youth as a species." As the Concordat observers delved deeper into their study of humanity, they found themselves both intrigued and disturbed. Humans displayed an insatiable curiosity, rapidly advancing their understanding of the universe around them. Their creativity seemed boundless, manifesting in art, music, and technological innovations that often left the alien observers in awe. However, alongside these admirable traits, the Concordat witnessed a darker side to humanity. The planet was fragmented into numerous nation-states, often in conflict with one another. Their history was marred by wars, atrocities, and a seeming disregard for the delicate balance of their own ecosystem. Zara compiled her findings and presented them to the Galactic Council, the governing body of the Concordat. The council chambers, a massive geodesic sphere floating in space, hummed with the collective thoughts and emotions of its members as they processed the information. "Esteemed colleagues," Zara began, her voice resonating through the chamber, "we stand at a crossroads. The humans of Earth represent both great potential and great danger. Their drive to explore and innovate is unparalleled among the species we've encountered. Yet, their propensity for violence and self-destruction is equally unmatched." The council deliberated, their thoughts merging and diverging in a complex dance of ideas. Some argued for immediate contact, seeing in humans the potential for a vibrant addition to the galactic community. Others cautioned restraint, fearing the introduction of chaos into their carefully cultivated harmony. After much debate, the council reached a consensus. High Councillor Thorn, an ancient being of living energy, delivered their decision. "We cannot ignore the existence of this species, nor can we risk the disruption they may bring to the greater galaxy. Therefore, we shall initiate a program of guided development. We will contain them within their solar system, allowing them time to mature and overcome their violent tendencies." The containment initiative was set in motion. Using technology far beyond human comprehension, the Concordat erected an invisible barrier at the edge of Earth's solar system. This barrier would prevent any human spacecraft or signals from penetrating into the wider galaxy, while still allowing the Concordat to observe and subtly influence human development. Teams of covert observers were dispatched to Earth, taking on human form to blend in and guide the species towards a more peaceful existence. Their mission was to nudge human civilization away from conflict and towards cooperation, all without revealing their true nature or the existence of alien life. As years turned to decades and decades to centuries, the Concordat watched with a mixture of hope and trepidation. Humans continued to surprise them, displaying remarkable resilience in the face of adversity. They overcame global conflicts, environmental crises, and societal upheavals, each time emerging stronger and more united. Yet, for all their progress, the spark of conflict never fully dimmed in the human spirit. Even as they reached for the stars, colonizing their own solar system with remarkable speed, tensions between factions persisted. Zara, now the head of the Earth Observation Initiative, found herself increasingly conflicted. We may have underestimated them, she confided to Krell, who had become her closest confidant over the centuries. Their adaptability, their drive, it's unlike anything we've seen. Perhaps our intervention is holding them back rather than helping them. Krell's crystalline form pulsed with concern, but their potential for violence remains. If they were to breach the barrier and enter the wider galaxy, the consequences could be catastrophic. As if in answer to their debate, alarms suddenly blared throughout the observation post. Zara rushed to the monitoring station, her hearts racing. The holographic display showed a fleet of human ships approaching the edge of the solar system, their energy signatures unlike anything the Concordat had observed before. Impossible, Zara whispered, her voice a mix of fear and awe. They've developed faster-than-light technology. They're about to hit the barrier. As the human ships drew closer to the invisible boundary that had contained them for centuries, Zara and her team watched in stunned silence. The moment of first contact was upon them, and the fate of two civilizations hung in the balance. The barrier, designed to be impenetrable, flickered as the human ships approached. In that moment, Zara realized that everything the Concordat thought they knew about humanity was about to change. The era of observation was over. The era of interaction was about to begin, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Galactic Concordat's containment initiative had been in place for centuries, a testament to their advanced technology and commitment to shaping humanity's development from afar. The barrier, an intricate web of energy fields and space-time distortions, stood as an invisible sentinel at the edge of Earth's solar system, its presence unknown to the very beings it was designed to contain. Within the confines of their cosmic prison, humanity thrived in ways that both impressed and alarmed their secret watchers. Cities sprawled across the Earth's surface, then reached skyward. The barren red plains of Mars transformed into bustling colonies, while the moons of Jupiter and Saturn became outposts of human ingenuity and determination. Elara, a young and idealistic member of the Concordat's observation team, found herself captivated by human progress. Unlike her predecessors, she had grown up studying humanity, and her fascination often bordered on admiration. Look at what they've accomplished in mere centuries, she marveled to her mentor Zorn as they reviewed the latest data from their cloaked observation post on Titan. Zorn, a veteran observer whose azure skin had faded to a pale blue over millennia of service, clicked his mandibles in concern. Yes, their progress is remarkable, but at what cost? Their expansion has been marred by conflict at every turn. Resource wars on Mars, separatist movements in the Jovian colonies. They carry their penchant for strife wherever they go. Elara couldn't deny the truth in Zorn's words, but she saw something her mentor seemed to miss. But look closer, she urged, manipulating the holographic display to zoom in on various human settlements. Each crisis has ultimately led to innovation, to new forms of cooperation. They're learning, evolving. As if to underscore her point, the display shifted to show the latest human technological marvel, a massive solar collection array being constructed in Mercury's orbit. It was a project of unprecedented scale, requiring the cooperation of every major faction in the solar system. Perhaps, Zorn conceded, but remember why we're here. The containment initiative isn't just about guiding their development, it's about protecting the rest of the galaxy from their potential for destruction. Elara nodded sullenly, but a part of her wondered if the Concordat's approach was still the right one. As she pored over historical data, she noticed a pattern that both excited and troubled her. Human advancement seemed to accelerate in response to challenges and constraints. The very act of containing them might be driving their rapid progress. Months passed, and Elara's concerns grew. She compiled her observations and analysis, finally mustering the courage to present them to the Concordat's Central Committee. In the virtual meeting space, her avatar stood before the imposing figures of the committee members, each a representative of a different alien species united in their guardianship of galactic peace. Esteemed committee, Elara began, her voice steady despite her nerves. I believe we may need to reassess our approach to the Human Containment Initiative. She laid out her findings, showing how human innovations seem to spike in response to adversity and limitations. Furthermore, she continued, there are troubling indications that they may be on the verge of detecting our barrier. Their latest deep space probes have been exhibiting unusual behavior near the containment field's edge. The committee listened in silence, their expressions unreadable. When Elara finished, High Counselor Vex, a being of pure energy contained within an ornate metallic shell, spoke. Your insights are noted, Observer Elara. However, the risks of allowing humanity unfettered access to the galaxy remain too great. The initiative will continue as planned. Disappointed but not surprised, Elara returned to her post. As the Earth calendar ticked over to the year 2157, a new development caught the attention of every Concordat observer. A coalition of Earth's most brilliant scientists, working in secret, had made a breakthrough. They called it the Alcubierre Drive, a propulsion system that could theoretically achieve faster-than-light travel by warping the fabric of space-time itself. Zorn was the first to recognize the implications. If they perfect this technology, he said, his voice heavy with dread, no barrier we create will be able to contain them. Elara felt a mix of excitement and fear. Then perhaps it's time we considered a new approach. If we can't contain them, maybe we should prepare to meet them. The idea sent shockwaves through the Concordat. Emergency sessions were called, contingency plans dusted off and updated. Some advocated for more aggressive measures to halt human progress, while others, influenced by Elara's reports, argued for opening diplomatic channels. As the debate raged among the Concordat leadership, humanity remained blissfully unaware of the turmoil they were causing among the stars. Their first faster-than-light prototype was nearing completion in a secret facility beneath the lunar surface. Then, on a day that would forever change the course of galactic history, alarms blared throughout every Concordat observation post in the solar system. The humans had launched their prototype, a sleek vessel they named Prometheus. Elara and Zorn watched in awe as the ship approached the edge of the solar system at impossible speeds. They did it, Elara whispered, a mix of pride and trepidation in her voice. They actually did it. As the Prometheus struck the containment barrier, reality itself seemed to shudder. The barrier, designed to be impenetrable, flickered and warped under the stress of the Alcubierre Drive's space-time distortions. For a breathless moment, it seemed the barrier would hold. Then, with a flash of light that momentarily outshone the sun, a hole tore open in the fabric of the Concordat's carefully constructed cage. Alarms screamed across every Concordat world and outpost. The unthinkable had happened. Humanity had broken free. As the Prometheus emerged on the other side of the barrier, its crew unaware of the cosmic line they had just crossed, Elara turned to Zorn. What happens now? She asked, her voice barely a whisper. Zorn's reply was solemn, tinged with a mix of fear and something that might have been respect. Now, young one, everything changes. The galaxy is about to meet humanity, ready or not. In that moment, as the breach in the barrier widened and alarms continued to blare, the future of both humanity and the Galactic Concordat hung in the balance. The containment initiative had failed, and a new chapter in galactic history was about to be written. The moment the Prometheus breached the containment barrier, a cascade of events was set in motion that would forever alter the fabric of galactic society. Aboard the human vessel, Captain Aria Chen and her crew were oblivious to the cosmic significance of their achievement. To them, it was merely the successful test of their revolutionary drive system. All systems nominal, reported Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the ship's chief engineer, her voice tight with controlled excitement. The Alcubierre field is stable. We've done it, Captain. We've broken the light speed barrier. Captain Chen allowed herself a small smile, years of rigorous training keeping her outward composure in check, despite the elation bubbling within. Excellent work, everyone. Let's take her out a bit further, then we'll head back to give the good news to Mission Control. But as the Prometheus ventured deeper into uncharted space, the crew began to notice anomalies. Strange energy readings flickered across their sensors, and the stars seemed different somehow. Meanwhile, chaos erupted throughout the Concordat. Emergency protocols, long established but never expected to be used, sprang into action. Cloaked observation posts throughout the solar system initiated emergency shutdown procedures to avoid detection. The Concordat's highest governing body, the Council of Elders, convened in an emergency session. Back on Titan, Ilara and Zorn scrambled to make sense of the flood of incoming data. "They're going to encounter one of our outposts," Zorn said, his normally calm demeanor shattered by urgency. "We need to warn the Council." But it was too late. As the Prometheus pushed further into space, they picked up an artificial signal. Captain Chen's eyes widened as she realized the implications. "My God," she breathed. "We're not alone." The signal was coming from a small Concordat research station on a distant asteroid. The station's cloaking technology, designed to hide it from primitive scanning methods, was useless against the advanced sensors of the Prometheus. In a historic moment of first contact, the humans hailed the station. The Concordat researchers, caught completely off guard, panicked. In their rush to report to their superiors, they inadvertently revealed their presence to the humans. "This is Captain Aria Chen of the Earth ship Prometheus," Chen broadcast, her heart racing but her voice steady. "We come in peace and friendship." On the research station, junior researcher Xylos, a being of gelatinous composition housed in a humanoid exosuit, made a split-second decision that would change the course of history. Against all protocols, Xylos responded to the human hail. "Greetings, Earth ship Prometheus," came the reply, translated by advanced Concordat technology. We are not authorized for this interaction. Please stand by." The response sent shockwaves through both sides. For the humans, it was confirmation of intelligent alien life. For the Concordat, it was the beginning of a diplomatic nightmare. As news of the encounter spread, reactions varied wildly across Earth and its colonies. Governments scrambled to form response strategies, religious institutions grappled with the theological implications, and the public oscillated between excitement and fear. Within the Concordat, the caution of millennia collided with the reality of human ingenuity. Some members advocated for immediate, open contact to guide humanity's entrance into the galactic community. Others pushed for more drastic measures to contain what they saw as a potential threat. Ilara found herself thrust into the center of the debate. Her insights into human nature, once dismissed by many, were now in high demand. "We can't undo this contact," she argued before the council. "The humans know we exist now. Our choice is not whether to engage, but how." As the Concordat debated, humanity took action. Additional ships were quickly fitted with the Alcubierre drive, and a diplomatic mission was hastily assembled. Earth's nations, setting aside their differences in the face of this monumental event, united to present a common front to the galaxy. The Concordat, still reeling, was forced to respond. A delegation was chosen, with Ilara surprised to find herself selected as a key member due to her expertise on human culture. The two delegations met on neutral ground, a small, uninhabited planet just beyond the former containment barrier. As the sleek human ships descended to the planet's surface, the Concordat delegation waited, a diverse group of beings that represented the incredible variety of life in the galaxy. Captain Chen, now serving as Earth's chief diplomat, stepped forward. Her eyes widened as she took in the assembled alien beings, creatures of light, of crystal, of shapes and compositions beyond human imagination. But it was Ilara, in her humanoid form, who stepped forward to greet them. "Welcome," Ilara said, her voice conveying warmth even as uncertainty roiled within her. "On behalf of the Galactic Concordat, we greet you." Chen, trained for first contact scenarios, but still overwhelmed by the reality, responded with admirable composure. "We come seeking friendship and knowledge, in the spirit of peaceful exploration." As the formal greetings were exchanged, both sides were acutely aware of the weight of this moment. Centuries of human speculation about alien life were being realized, while millennia of concordat policy were being rewritten in real time. The initial discussions were tense, filled with careful diplomatic maneuvering on both sides. The humans, learning of the containment barrier, oscillated between anger at being imprisoned and awe at the advanced technology it represented. The concordat delegates, for their part, were torn between adherence to their non-interference principles and fascination with these beings who had defied their expectations. As the talks progressed, it became clear that the galaxy was entering a new era. Human expansion could no longer be contained, and the concordat's long-held isolation was at an end. The question now was whether this new chapter would be one of cooperation or conflict. Ilara, watching the interactions closely, felt a glimmer of hope. Despite the tensions, she saw genuine curiosity and a desire for understanding on both sides. Perhaps, she thought, this unexpected meeting of civilizations could lead to something greater than either had imagined alone. But as the initial diplomatic meetings concluded and both delegations prepared to return to their respective worlds with news of the encounter, a new crisis loomed on the horizon. Unbeknownst to the peaceful delegates on the planet's surface, elements within both human and concordat society were already plotting to ensure their own vision of the future would come to pass, by any means necessary. The stage was set for a conflict that would span the stars, testing the limits of both human determination and alien wisdom. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what would emerge from this unprecedented collision of civilizations. The initial diplomatic meetings between humanity and the Galactic Concordat had concluded with tentative hope, but the real challenges were only beginning. As news of the encounter spread across Earth and its colonies, reactions ranged from euphoria to panic. Governments struggled to maintain order as ancient paradigms crumbled in the face of this new reality. On the Concordat's side, the revelation of humanity's existence sent shockwaves through their carefully ordered society. Factions quickly formed, each with its own vision of how to handle this unexpected development. Amidst this turmoil, extremist groups on both sides saw an opportunity. On Earth, a militant organization known as Terra Prime gained traction, preaching human supremacy and the need to claim humanity's rightful place among the stars. Within the Concordat, an ancient order called the Purifiers resurfaced, arguing that humanity posed too great a risk to galactic stability and must be contained, or eliminated. Captain Aria Chen, now promoted to admiral and serving as Earth's chief diplomat to the Concordat, found herself working tirelessly to build bridges between the two civilizations. Alongside her, Ilara had become the Concordat's primary liaison to humanity, her understanding of both cultures proving invaluable. "We're making progress," Chen said during one of their many late-night strategy sessions. "But every step forward seems to be met with 2 steps back." Ilara nodded, her holographic form flickering slightly. The Concordat has existed in a state of relative peace for millennia. The dynamism of humanity is unsettling to many. Their work was cut short by an urgent communication. A human research outpost on Europa had been attacked by unknown forces. Initial reports suggested advanced technology far beyond human capabilities. As Chen rushed to convene Earth's Defense Council, similar alarms were blaring across Concordat space. A Concordat science vessel had been destroyed near the former containment barrier, its final transmissions indicating human weapons signatures. Both incidents, as Ilara and Chen would later discover, were false flag operations orchestrated by the extremist factions. But in the heat of the moment, with trust between the two civilizations still fragile, tensions exploded into open conflict. The first battles caught both sides off guard. Human ships, though technologically inferior, displayed a level of tactical creativity that shocked Concordat military strategists. Concordat vessels, with their vastly superior technology, found themselves outmaneuvered by unorthodox human tactics. Admiral Chen, forced to shift from diplomat to military leader, leveraged humanity's greatest strengths, adaptability and unpredictability. "We can't match them in firepower," she told her fleet commanders, "but we can outthink them." Under her leadership, human forces began employing guerrilla-style tactics in space warfare. They used the complex gravities of planetary systems to slingshot their ships at impossible speeds, executed daring raids on Concordat supply lines, and developed jamming technologies to disrupt the enemy's advanced sensors. The Concordat, for their part, were forced to confront the limitations of their own highly structured military doctrine. Zorn, once a peaceful observer, now found himself advising Concordat fleet admirals on human psychology and warfare. "They're not just fighting with ships and weapons," he explained to a council of bewildered Concordat leaders. "Every human vessel is powered by a crew that thinks creatively, that sees sacrifice as noble, that believes deeply in their cause. We're not just fighting their bodies, we're fighting their indomitable spirit." As the conflict spread, both civilizations were pushed to their limits. Earth and its colonies, despite their internal differences, united in the face of this external threat. Innovation accelerated at an unprecedented pace, with new technologies being developed and deployed in record time. The Concordat, shaken out of millennia of complacency, began to rediscover aspects of their own history long forgotten. Ancient weapons were unearthed, and long-dormant warrior cultures began to reawaken. Yet, even as the war raged, voices on both sides called for peace. Ilara and Chen worked tirelessly through back channels, trying to bring moderate factions together. They knew that the longer the conflict continued, the greater the risk of mutual annihilation. Their efforts seemed to be gaining traction when disaster struck. A human colony world, New Eden, was obliterated by a Concordat superweapon. Millions of lives were extinguished in an instant. The tragedy was, in fact, the work of the purifiers, acting without official sanction, but the damage was done. Humanity's response was swift and terrible. A massive fleet, led by Admiral Chen herself, launched a desperate assault on the heart of Concordat space. The battle that followed would be spoken of for generations to come. Human ships, vastly outnumbered but driven by rage and determination, tore through Concordat defenses. Chen's tactical genius shone as she orchestrated a complex dance of feints and strikes, keeping the technologically superior enemy off balance. In the midst of the chaos, a small team led by Ilara managed to uncover evidence of the extremist group's manipulations. Working against time, they fought to bring the truth to light before it was too late. As the human fleet approached the Concordat homeworld, poised to deliver a potentially civilization-ending blow, Ilara made a desperate gambit. She broadcast the evidence to every ship and planet in range, human and Concordat alike. For a moment, the universe seemed to hold its breath. Ships hung motionless in space as their crews grappled with the revelation. The fate of two civilizations hung in the balance, waiting to see whether vengeance or wisdom would prevail. Admiral Chen, her finger hovering over the launch control for humanity's most powerful weapons, faced the most difficult decision of her life. The next few moments would determine the course of galactic history for millennia to come. As tensions reached their peak, a new transmission cut through the chaos. It was a joint message from a coalition of human and Concordat moderates, calling for an immediate ceasefire and renewed diplomacy. In that crucial moment, humanity's capacity for both destruction and compassion was laid bare. The choice they made would echo across the stars, shaping the future of not just their own species, but of all sentient life in the galaxy. The war had brought both civilizations to the brink. Now, with the truth revealed and the manipulations of extremists exposed, there was a chance, however slim, for a new beginning. But the road to peace would be long and fraught with challenges, and the scars of conflict would not heal easily. As the opposing fleets faced each other in the silent void of space, the next move would determine whether this was the end of a war or the beginning of a new era of galactic cooperation. The revelation of the extremists' manipulations sent shockwaves through both human and Concordat forces. For a tense moment, the fate of two civilizations hung in the balance as Admiral Chen's finger hovered over the launch controls. In that crucial instant, she made a decision that would echo through history. "Stand down all weapons," Chen ordered, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "We came to the stars seeking knowledge and friendship. We won't let the actions of a misguided few define us." Across the battlefield, Concordat ships powered down their weapons in response. A collective sigh of relief seemed to ripple through space itself as the immediate threat of mutual annihilation receded. In the aftermath of the near catastrophe, both sides scrambled to make sense of the new reality. The exposure of the Terra Prime and Purifier factions had shaken the foundations of trust, but it had also opened a door to genuine dialogue. Ilara, her role in uncovering the truth now known to all, found herself at the center of renewed diplomatic efforts. "We have a chance here," she urged the hastily convened Joint Council of Human and Concordat leaders. "A chance to build something greater than either of our civilizations could achieve alone." The path to peace was far from smooth. Years of conflict had left deep scars, and suspicions ran high on both sides. Yet, slowly but surely, progress was made. One of the first major breakthroughs came in the field of technology. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the engineer behind the Alcubierre drive, proposed a bold initiative. Our drive technology, combined with Concordat energy manipulation techniques, could revolutionize space travel, she explained to a mixed audience of human and alien scientists. The joint research project that followed produced results that stunned both sides. Ships that could traverse the galaxy in days, energy shields that could withstand the heat of stars, and communication systems that defied the very laws of physics as they understood them. But it wasn't just in technology that barriers were being broken. Cultural exchanges began, tentative at first, then with growing enthusiasm. Humans found themselves captivated by the ancient art forms of the Concordat, while many Concordat species discovered a new appreciation for the vibrant, ever-changing nature of human culture. Zorn, once a distant observer of humanity, now found himself teaching a class on Concordat philosophy at Oxford University. "In understanding each other," he told his rapt human students, "we come to better understand ourselves." Yet challenges remained. Hardliners on both sides resisted the growing integration, fearing the loss of their own cultural identities. Economic disparities between human worlds and established Concordat systems led to tensions and accusations of exploitation. Admiral Chen, who had transitioned from military leader to key diplomat, often found herself mediating these disputes. "We're not trying to erase our differences," she would argue. "We're learning to celebrate them while recognizing our common aspirations." A pivotal moment came 5 years into the peace process. A natural disaster, a hypernova in a densely populated sector of space, threatened billions of lives across multiple species. The response was unprecedented, a joint human Concordat rescue operation on a scale never before seen. Human ships, more maneuverable in the chaotic conditions, darted in and out of danger zones, rescuing stranded civilians. Concordat vessels used their advanced technology to stabilize volatile stellar remnants and create safe corridors for evacuation. It was a dance of cooperation that showcased the best of both civilizations. In the aftermath of the crisis, as refugees of a dozen species found shelter on both human and Concordat worlds, a new sense of unity began to emerge. The artificial boundaries that had once seemed so important began to fade in the face of shared challenges and triumphs. Ilara, watching the integration of rescued Concordat children into a human school on Mars, felt a swell of emotion. "This," she said to Chen, who stood beside her, "this is what we fought for." Chen nodded, a smile playing on her lips. "It's more than I ever dared hope for when we first broke through that barrier." As the years passed, the scars of war gradually healed, replaced by the bonds of shared experience and mutual respect. The human drive for exploration and innovation, once feared by the Concordat, became the engine driving a new era of galactic discovery. Concordat wisdom and advanced science, in turn, helped temper human impulses and provided a framework for sustainable expansion. New challenges would always arise. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders and dangers alike. But now, instead of facing these challenges alone, humanity and the Concordat stood together. The containment barrier, once a symbol of division, was dismantled in a ceremony attended by representatives from across known space. As the last energy fields flickered out of existence, Ilara turned to the assembled crowd, her eyes shining with the light of distant stars. "Today," she said, her voice carrying to every corner of the gathered multitude, "we don't just open a pathway between our peoples. We open a door to a future limited only by our imagination and our willingness to understand each other." As cheers erupted from 1,000 different species, the stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter. The galactic community had been forever changed by humanity's arrival, but in that change lay the seeds of a future greater than any had dared to dream. The story of humanity's journey to the stars was far from over. In many ways, it was just beginning. But now they would write that story together with their new allies, facing whatever the universe had in store as a united galactic civilization. Decades had passed since the historic dismantling of the containment barrier. The galaxy had entered an unprecedented era of cooperation and advancement. With the alliance between humanity and the Concordat at its core, this new interstellar community, now known as the Galactic Confederation, had grown to encompass hundreds of species across thousands of star systems. On the gleaming capital world of Unity, a planet terraformed jointly by human and Concordat scientists, the Galactic Senate convened for its centennial session. The Great Chamber, a marvel of architecture that blended styles from across the known universe, buzzed with anticipation. Ambassador Lyra Chen, granddaughter of the legendary Admiral Aria Chen, took her place at the podium. Beside her stood Nexa, a descendant of Ilara's species, their complementary roles a living symbol of the enduring alliance. "Esteemed delegates," Lyra began, her voice carrying easily through the vast chamber. "A century ago, our predecessors dared to imagine a future where the stars united us rather than divided us. Today, we gather to reflect on that vision and to chart our course for the centuries to come." As Lyra spoke, holographic displays flickered to life around the chamber, showcasing the Confederation's achievements. Images of thriving colonies on once barren worlds, of massive space habitats hosting millions, of starships capable of crossing the galaxy in weeks rather than years. But it wasn't just technological marvels on display. The holograms also showed cultural exchanges, interspecies families, and collaborative artistic endeavors that would have been unimaginable in the days before first contact. "Our strength," Nexa continued, taking over from Lyra, "lies not in uniformity, but in our diversity. Each species, each culture, brings unique perspectives and abilities to our collective. It is this tapestry of differences, woven together with threads of mutual respect and understanding, that forms the fabric of our civilization." The chamber resonated with murmurs of agreement. Yet, as always, challenges remained. A delegate from a newly contacted species rose to speak, voicing concerns about the pace of integration and the preservation of cultural identities. Lyra and Nexa exchanged a glance, reminded of the early days of human Concordat relations. "Your concerns are valid," Lyra acknowledged. "Our goal has never been to erase what makes each of us unique, but to create a framework where all can thrive while contributing to the greater whole." As the session progressed, the true scope of the Confederation's future plans began to unfold. Nexa unveiled a proposal for the most ambitious project yet, the Cosmic Nexus, a vast network of interconnected wormholes that would link every corner of the galaxy, allowing near-instantaneous travel between the farthest star systems. With the Nexus, Nexa explained, distance will no longer be a barrier to cooperation and understanding. Every world, every species will have direct access to the collective knowledge and resources of our entire civilization. The project would require resources on a scale never before attempted, drawing on the unique strengths of every member species. Human ingenuity, Concordat energy manipulation, and technologies from 100 other cultures would all play crucial roles. As the delegates debated the proposal, a commotion at the entrance to the chamber drew everyone's attention. A group of beings, their forms shimmering with an otherworldly energy, entered. The hall fell silent as recognition dawned. They were representatives of a species long thought to be merely legend, guardians of the galactic core itself. Their spokesperson, a being of pure light, addressed the assembly. "We have watched your progress from afar," it said, its voice resonating directly in the minds of all present. "Your union of diverse peoples, your balance of advancement and wisdom, has proven you worthy of the next great challenge." With those words, the being projected a vision into the minds of every delegate, a glimpse of what lay beyond the galactic barrier, of civilizations and wonders in neighboring galaxies that dwarfed even the Confederation's achievements. "The true test," the being continued, "lies not just in reaching the stars, but in understanding your place among them. You stand now at the threshold of a larger universe. The question is, are you ready to take that step?" The chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices, excitement and apprehension mingling in equal measure. Lyra and Nexa, momentarily stunned by the revelation, quickly regained their composure. "Fellow delegates," Lyra called out, her voice cutting through the noise, "throughout our history, we have faced moments that defined us. The breaching of the barrier, the forging of peace, the building of our confederation, each was a step into the unknown. Each time, we rose to the challenge." Nexa nodded, continuing seamlessly, "This is more than an opportunity for exploration. It is a chance to apply the lessons we've learned, to test the strength of our unity on a cosmic scale." As the delegates debated long into the night, a sense of shared purpose began to emerge. The Cosmic Nexus project, ambitious as it was, now seemed like just the first step on an even greater journey. In the years that followed, the Galactic Confederation would indeed take its first tentative steps beyond the confines of their home galaxy. They would face new challenges, encounter wonders beyond imagination, and continue to evolve as a civilization. But through it all, they would hold to the principles that had brought them this far: unity in diversity, the pursuit of knowledge tempered by wisdom, and an unwavering belief in the potential for understanding between all sentient beings. As ships bearing the Confederation banner ventured into intergalactic space, they carried with them the hopes and dreams of countless beings. The story that had begun with humanity's defiance of containment had become a saga encompassing the breadth of the cosmos itself. And somewhere, in the vast expanse of space and time, the spirits of those who had first dared to breach the barriers between civilizations, Aria Chen, Elara, and countless others, looked on with pride at what their descendants had achieved. The journey that had started with one small step beyond a solar system had become a leap across the stars themselves. As the Confederation faced the infinite possibilities of the universe, they did so not as separate species, but as a united galactic family, ready to write the next chapter in the grand cosmic story.